What's going on? It's your boy Coach, and it is day 35, and so pretty excited. We got a pretty busy day ahead. I still have cooking to do, which I'm gonna knock out here in a minute. So I'm prepped for the week. Super Bowl party later, so I've already planned out all my meals, put all those calories in ahead of time, so pretty much know where I'm gonna finish, and hopefully not go beyond that. And really, I've kept consistent the last 4 weeks with my weekly caloric intake, which is exactly what I know I need to do in order to stay consistent, on track, and keep that weigh in, that consistent drop every week. So one variance that's going to happen tomorrow that I'm well aware of is my carbs are going to be significantly low today. So I'm going to hold less water, probably going to be peeing a lot more. So therefore I'll notice tomorrow morning's weigh-in is going to be probably significantly lower than I expect. So I'm not going to take tomorrow's weigh-in, but rather take Tuesday's weigh-in, because I'll come back up after a normal day of balanced macronutrients. So for today, my tip I'm going to go through is something that I've done in the past. I'm not doing it this year, but it's the topic of alcohol. And so at a Super Bowl party or any function, if you don't consume alcohol, this isn't necessarily applicable to you, but I'll still address it in some way or another, because you don't want to drink your calories for the most part. So if you're used to having things like juices and just any Cokes with sugar, things like that, find ways to substitute those out, which is something we've talked before. But if I'm in a social environment, I'm going to be more aware of that. So for those who are having alcohol for an event, I like to always go in with hey, I'm only going to have this many. I'm going to put those, log them in my tracker ahead of time, and then that's all I get. I'm going to give myself that boundary so I don't go beyond that. Now, alcohol is one too, where it can generally say, one more. Why not have one more? Well, when you're in a transformation, that's kind of the whole point of all this, is having that self-control and that discipline. So really hold yourself to that standard. If you've come all this way, say 4 or 5 weeks, and you're like, it's really important that I stick to this plan, then make that goal. Say, hey, I'm going to have 2 drinks, not necessarily as a reward, but just as something to have more life balance, because not everyone's going to want to exclude or eliminate some of these things we're doing along the way permanently. And really, like I said, it's ultimately to learn self-control in our habits and routines. So what I'm going to be doing, I've had years where I've gone to Super Bowl, had my 3 beers at the party, brought them with me. Sometimes I'll pick lower calorie beers like lights, or like Michelob Ultra, just things that are a lot less in calories, so I can maybe have a few more. If you're going to pick things like wine is about 100 calories for a serving. So a couple glasses of wine, really you can work that into your calories. Hard alcohol is one that's kind of challenging, because there's some that are a little bit less in calories, less sugary. So I think it's things like vodka and things like that. But then there's more if you're going to go with like mixed drinks where they're adding sugars in. Those are the ones I'm going to probably avoid, just because it's going to be 2 things. It's going to add in way more calories, and typically the sugary drinks, for me anyway, tend to hurt more the next day with a headache or something like that. So I'll tend to do something more like a diet pop and a vodka, something like that, just to keep the calories. I think it's 100 calories, in a shot of vodka or something. So, and then just limit that to maybe 1 or 2. I generally don't like pushing past. If you're gonna come with a limitation, say maybe 4 max, depending on your weight, gender, things like that, where we're all different in terms of alcohol processing, how much we can eliminate, in an hour. And yes, it's something that is, you have to just regulate yourself and know yourself if you're going to go that route. But yeah, try not to make it where you've allocated, say, I'll give myself 10 beers, say I'm going to have less food. The way to counter that is, put your protein in there, make sure you hit that protein goal. And if you have some FUD calories, or some flex calories after all your food, then say 300-400 calories, you can use those for drinks and to be social and to have somewhat of a normalization and become some sort of new habit, rather than hey, I'm going to have no limitation. I'm going to go to a party and I'm just going to drink without thinking about it in caloric terms or how many drinks I'm going to have in general. So the reason I have these right here is because this is going to be my choice for the day. So if you aren't into alcohol or you're trying to stay away from it, then these we've talked about before. I love the 0 calorie pops, and I have all the little flavors, so it kind of keeps it interesting for me. An energy drink in there, protein drink. Yes, it's got some calories, but it's all protein. and just little things that keep it fun. And for the most part, I found that to be pretty effective. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on fun just because I'm drinking a non-alcoholic drinks. I'm still, there's something to be said about when you're socializing and having that glass or cup in your hand. It doesn't matter if there's alcohol, you can still have a good time. So kind of a long rant. I'm going to probably edit that at some point, but for now, that's what we're going to stop with. And tomorrow will be our next weigh-in and pictures, and we'll see how we've done over this 35 days. So I'm pretty excited about that. Until then, take care.